Hey there. So glad to talk to you this week. Had a lot of cool stuff happen over the last few weeks and wanted to share with you some of the stuff I'm learning. One of the things I realized is as life goes on, new situations happen, and we're always being challenged with new choices, new decisions that we have to make on a regular basis. So, when you realize that there's so many things coming at you, and you have to make decisions on a split second, it is important to get a good foundation to make those decisions. So life is full of choices that we have to make every day. So what we need to do is build a foundation of wisdom. We need to actually go out and find wisdom, which, by the way, when you build wisdom and understanding in your life, it builds character. And character is what leads to making good decisions, right decisions, fair decisions. And so today I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to read in Proverbs chapter 2, and I want to read verses 6 through 9. Here's what it says. For the Lord gives wisdom, and from his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. He holds victory in store for the upright, those who live the right way. He holds victory in store for the upright. He is a shield for those whose walk is blameless. Now, we're all imperfect. We all have problems. But the more we make good decisions, the more we walk in the right way, the less we are to blame for. And that's what he's talking about, blameless here. For he guards the course of the just and protects the way of his faithful ones. During this time, there's a lot of confusion in what I should do next. What am I going to do if I lose my job? What is the way I should go? What is that course? He says he'll protect you if you will seek wisdom and understanding, which comes from the Lord. And then you will understand what is right and just and fair. Those are things that are so important. Right, obviously, a lot of times we make decisions and we look back and go, man, why did I do that? That was so wrong. I should have never done that. Fair is another thing. So many times we do what's best for us. We make decisions what's best for us. But are we being fair to other people around us? And so I wanted to read that scripture because to me, it is incredible in Proverbs that it talks about that right there, God gives us the answer on how to make wise choices that are right, just, and fair. Leaders build character by acquiring wisdom. So a lot of times you'll hear this, leaders are readers. And so a lot of the ways I do it is I read books. Now, when I was younger, I hated reading. I remember thinking, I don't want to read. Reading's boring. Reading doesn't do anything for me. Well, as you get older, you realize reading does a lot for you. Number one, you can read the Bible, which I just did. But then there's a lot of great books out there. Yes, there are millions of books, millions. And many times we're overwhelmed by all these different self-help books and all kinds of books. But take some time, 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes a day just to read. Reading gives you knowledge. It gives you understanding of life. Then apply the Bible. Read the Bible. And today you have no excuse because even if you're like me, you're a slow reader, you don't really retain information, maybe you can listen to it. I have a subscription to Audible. So I download books on a regular basis and I listen to books. So I'm reading and listening all the time. So leaders are constantly building character by learning, by reading. Here's the other thing is, not only are they dedicated to learning, but then they go out and search for wisdom. And the Bible talks about it. You search for wisdom like you're searching for silver or gold. Like if you were searching for a treasure, you go out and look for it. One of the best ways to do that is through mentors, through people who have lived where you want to go, people who have accomplished the things that you'd like to accomplish. See, that's really the definition of success, is to accomplish a task you set out to accomplish. It's very basic. Well, how do you do that? Go and get advice, get wisdom, get understanding from people who are older and more mature and have done what you hope to do someday. I have several mentors in my life. One of them is Rex. Rex Roth is 88 years old. I've been talking to him now for 10 years, and he's been mentoring me in all areas of my life. He was a successful businessman for 60 years. He was a successful pastor. I mean, he's one of the wisest men I know. So who's mentoring you? You know, just recently, my son got married in Nashville, and we were there, and it was our whole family. Of course, we couldn't have a large gathering because of this quarantine thing. So we had about 15 or 20. It was a beautiful wedding for my son and my new daughter-in-law, Jordan. It was beautiful. But we had a couple days to go out on a boat. I rented an Airbnb, and we were out in the lake, and we were out doing all kinds of fun stuff, swimming. And then I said to a couple of my son-in-laws and a friend of mine who was on the trip, I said, let's go play golf. So we went out and played golf, and just to keep it fun, I made it competitive. Let's do a little game here and there, and it was them, the younger guys versus the older guys. And as we were riding in the cart, the competition got intense, and it got fierce, and it got a little bit to me. It started getting to me. And I remember around the 8th or 9th hole, we were down by double the points for this dumb little game we were playing, and sarcasm started coming out of me. This is a bad decision. Sarcasm is a bad decision. And so my two son-in-laws, I basically just kind of ripped on them. And I said, you guys are cheating, aren't you? And I knew they weren't cheating, but it was a way of me messing with them to try to get them to screw up their little golf game because they were killing us. And so I was kind of messing with them, and then it got intense. One of my son-in-laws said, well, if we're just going to act like this, I don't want to play. And then the guy I was riding with is like, man, it's out of control. And so I just decided the game's over. We're not going to play this little point game anymore. We're just going to golf. But it just brought the whole situation down. It was a bad decision on my part to be, first of all, sarcastic and joke about cheating. And then it was a bad decision to stop the game. As a matter of fact, a day later, I called both my son-in-laws to apologize to them for the way I acted. But you know where that wisdom to do that came from? From the guy I was riding with, my friend. My friend actually said, you know, the way you're acting could hurt your son-in-laws down the road. It could hurt your relationship. And at first I played it off like, yeah, whatever. But the more I thought about his wisdom, the more I thought about what he said, I thought, you know, you're right. That's just really poor decision making. Because of a dumb point game in a golf game, I'm going to hurt someone's feelings? Poor decision. So unfair. So I want to leave you with this. Have you made a poor decision recently that has hurt someone? That has maybe put someone in a bad situation? Maybe it's made you bitter or angry. Have you made a decision that was not based off of wisdom, but was based off of a reaction, a hurt reaction? If you have, I would encourage you to go back and make things right. With today's technology, to text someone or call someone, and I personally believe in calling someone. I'm old school. But calling someone, or more importantly, if you can meet one-on-one and clear the air, now that's wisdom. To go back and make things right. That's a good decision. So I hope today's lesson will challenge you to go back out, apologize, and make things right. When you do that, that is wisdom, and that's a good choice. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.